Hi, this is Andrea with HIT 330 for Healthcare Delivery Systems. We are looking at our quiz for Chapter 11. This is the quiz debrief. There were quite a few questions on this quiz that looked like were a bit confusing, shall we say. The first one I noticed is number 4. When implementing an EHR or other health information system, addressing any problems that require attention is known as issue management. It's issue management. And how would you know that? Well, let's talk about terms that we see in Chapter 11. And Chapter 11 was a fairly large chapter, wasn't it? Lots there. If you look on page 354, on the second column about halfway down, it talks about both healthcare organizations find it necessary to also appoint project manager who is responsible for managing vendor relations, including issue management, where any issues that arise during the implementation are documented, brought to the attention of the vendor, and hopefully resolved or escalated so that resolution is accomplished. So issues management, that's where you're addressing any problems that require attention. That's not change control. It's not monitoring results. A project manager is doing that, but the actual process is issues management. I can see where that would have been confusing between project management and issues management. Project is for the whole entire project, whereas issues are really focusing on those problems. So that's why that one was correct. And project management, do they give us a definition for that as well? Let's see, they might have. Change control is actually on page 355 if you were looking for that definition. I'm not sure. I'm going to really quick look at your glossary as well to see if they've got project manager there. Project management, a formal set of principles and procedures that help control the activities associated with implementing a usually large undertaking to achieve a specific goal, such as an information system project. So the information is there. I'm not seeing where project management is actually written into this chapter, but I know it has to be because it's somewhat covered here. Maybe we'll run across it as we go through some of our other questions. So number 7 was the next one. The science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through organized efforts is generally considered the definition of public health. Public health. It's not healthcare. It's that. So let's find out where public health is listed. Other than, of course, in the glossary, probably. Public health is an area of healthcare that deals with the health of populations in geopolitical areas such as states and countries. Or counties, sorry, states and counties. So I'm going to go ahead and credit you on number 7. If you struggle with number 7, I'll go ahead and credit you on that. But you do need to know that that's the definition of public health. Number 9 was the next one. Artificial intelligence is a form of blank that helps make specific recommendations. And we definitely had AI in this chapter. And now I'm going to have to dig through and find it. But AI is not big data. It's not clinical decision support, and it's not quality reporting. So how would you know that? It says if we look at page 341 in our book. So this section here is talking about analytics. And it talks about how use of big data analytics in or near real time, especially when coupled with artificial intelligence, which is the application of algorithms that analyze data and make applicable recommendations, will help providers at the point of care improve clinical decision making. I'm going to go ahead and credit you for number 9 if you got it wrong. I can see where that might be a little confusing. Number 10, what is an interface? It is a software that helps two disparate applications share data. So where is interface? On page 343, just a couple hop, skip, and jump from where we were on page 341, it's going to talk about interfaces and an interface engine. At the top of page 343, it says, as a result of the early development of health information system software, most technical interoperability today requires an interface, which is software that serves as a translator between two different applications which may have different structures for data or may use different vocabularies to encode data. So that's the definition right there. An interface is not hardware at all. It's software. And I can see where practice of using standards to ensure common meaning would be a little bit confusing, although that's not the case. That's talking about standards, not interface. But I will credit number 10 back to you if you did get that wrong, even though it's in your book and should have been pretty clear. So number 11, ensuring that an information system vendor is right for your organization, it's best to conduct due diligence. You should never consider just the cost of the system. You can ask for recommendations from peers, but that's not how you make your decision. And require vendors, they will not install the system for a test run. They will not do that. And so let's see about that and where that is at here. If you look at page 352 toward the bottom on the first column, it talks about acquiring a health information system may be performed in one of two ways. A small amount of due diligence may be performed to ensure the healthcare organization that it does not need to go to another vendor. So again, I guess this one is more of a not so obvious one. So I'll credit back number 11. Number 12, as the meaningful use incentive program for using EHR is phased out, what's taking its place? It's promoting interoperability. And where would you find that? That would be here toward the end of the chapter. And that is going to be starting on page 380 and going into 381. And I think what's confusing on this is that it's under health information exchange. So I will credit number 12 back to you as well. Number 13, data that has been processed into usable form is information. Information. If you look at the definitions for structured versus unstructured data, you would know right away that's not the case. And analytics is a process. That's not data. Analytics is something that you do with data. It's not what the data has been processed into. And I believe this is in your book. The definition for data analytics is on page 365. And let's see here. The definitions for unstructured and structured data are on page 368. And it refers you back to chapter 3 at the top of page 365 when it's talking about the difference between data and information. But I will grant you that may not be the most clear, but it's something that's very basic that we should all know. I'm struggling a bit with that. I will go ahead and credit 13 back to you, but would just really encourage you to make sure you know that data that's been processed into a usable form or format is information. Number 14 also seemed to be an issue. Which of the following is not true? The correct answer is change control refers to obtaining CEO approval on every protocol template and standing order set. That's not change control. If you look at, let's see, what page is this on? $355 in your textbook. There is a section under maintain that has formal change control program. It's that there is documented approval for the change to be made and evidence that all the elements of implementation testing, rollout, training, and such are performed. That has nothing to do with the CEO. And then these have answers as well. I'll credit you for number 14. That might not have been something that you would have picked up, a nuance that you would have picked up. Question 15, personalized medicine, also called precision medicine, uses genomic characteristics. Oh, everyone got that correct. Sorry. 17 is the next one I wanted to cover. Registry is which of the following? It's a specialized database for a predefined set of data and its processing. It is not software. It is not this. And how would you have known that? Well, let's take a look at registries. And that is on page 343. Top of page 343 on the second column, a registry is another type of application that typically houses and performs analysis and data reporting on a subset of clinical data. So it's not software necessarily, and it doesn't support patient identification or location of records. It houses and performs analysis and data reporting on a subset of clinical data. So I feel like that one probably was pretty fair. Number 19. EHRs support clinical evidence-based medicine, which refers to which of the following? What is evidence-based medicine? It's recommendations for care based on research. And I can see where this one right away would be confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and credit you for 19 if you struggled with it. Number 20, what is used to locate where patients may have records within an HIE? This is a record locator service. And again, this was toward the end of chapter 11. End of chapter 11. Except for the fact that that looks like that veered into chapter 12. Give me a second here. Page 347. So there's HIE in both chapters. How exciting. All right, well, here it's going to talk about the record locator service. It's about halfway down, page 347. Tucked in there, it seeks information about where a patient, once identified, may have a health record available to the HIO. And I will grant you that this one would be a very obscure one, so I will go ahead and credit you for 20 as well if you struggled with that one. The last one I want to talk about is number 23. What supporting infrastructure is used to ensure there's a logical structure for managing all of a healthcare's entity data? And this was data governance framework. And I'm going to guess that this one was a bit of a challenge as well for us from the answers. So I will credit 23 back as well. So there are quite a few, unfortunately, for Chapter 11 that will be credited back, just so you're aware. So be looking for those changes. I will probably work on those today, and so you should see those reflected in your grades, I would say at the latest by the end of the day on November 12th. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to me. Appreciate your patience, appreciate your willingness to learn, and this semester, this is a totally new test, so obviously we have some bugs to work out with it, and I appreciate you bringing some of these to my attention. And I will continue making sure you get 2 attempts on each quiz, and that we do these quiz debriefs so that you're aware of where the information is coming from. Hopefully it'll help you study for the rest of the tests, the rest of the semester. All right, take care, have a great rest of your week, and I will be back to talk to you again soon. Bye.